Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. How are you guys doing today? I hope you are all having a wonderful day. Today, we will be having the second interview from this real time series sponsored by Team Real. Today, we have a very, very special guest with us. He's coming from Greece and he started off his professional career on the esports scene a few years ago. He was only 19 when he first played a tournament playing StarCraft 2. Ever since then, he's been playing other games such as Grey Goo, Age of Mythology, and now AoE4. As we all know, he's one of the best players in the world, and he will be participating in the RedBull Wololo tournament in a few weeks from now. So let's please welcome TheMISTA. Hello, TheMISTA. How are you feeling today?
Hello. I'm feeling wonderful.
Good. Nice to hear. First things first, Mr. Let me please thank you on behalf of the Real team for having accepted the invitation to this interview.
My pleasure.
We hope that you enjoy your time here, have fun with us, and please feel like home. If whatever you feel like saying, commenting, just feel free to do so.
I'll do. No
Good.
worries.
Good. I was talking earlier to you, and I asked you whether I should call you Mista or the Mista. And I don't know if many people know about this because some people call you Mista and some others call you the Mista. And you gave me an answer that I found quite interesting. Would you like to share it here?
Yeah, so basically it's not the Mista, it's not Mista, it's actually TheMISTA. Because my real name is Themistocles, and
Mhm.
that's where my name derives from Themistocles. Therefore, TheMISTA.
So people should call you the Mista because that's where your name comes from.
TheMISTA.
The Mista.
Not the
Ah,
the
the. Okay, that's how
the
you pronounce it in Greek.
yes,
The
TheMISTA.
Mista. The Mista. All right.
T and H, yes. Just like you say thesis,
Thesis. Uh-huh.
yeah, TheMISTA.
Interesting. Before Themista, before we jump into the proper interview, for those people, we know you have a huge fan base, but for those people who still don't know you, would you like to introduce yourself? Who is Themista? Where do you come from? What you've been doing these past years?
Yeah, certainly. I am Themistocles Bounidis. I come from Greece. I am 30 years old. I'm growing old.
I'm 31, man, so we're not that old. Let me tell.
We're not. We still have lots of years
Yeah, we do.
in our prime. I've been playing games since I was like 7, 8 years old. I played all of Age of Empires at the highest level, and like I'm a real-time farmer. I started working as a farmer almost full time when my father got sick when I was 16 years old. And after that, I have been gaming 6 months, and 6 months I'm not gaming.
Hmm.
And that's about it. I'm just playing games. Whatever game has is competitive, and I like. I just play it in winter, mostly in autumn and winter,
Hmm.
sometimes in spring as well. And I try to compete at the best of my abilities.
Good. I've been doing some research. I've seen that you've participated in over 40 tournaments across your career, but only this last year, 2022, has been the best year for you.
Uh, the thing is that it doesn't show all the tournaments. Like it's
Ah, okay,
missing
okay,
a lot of tournaments. I think I competed in more than 100, for example,
okay. Well,
and it doesn't show all of them. Like I've competed only like maybe 15 to 20 tournaments in Age of Empires Online, and another like 20, 25, maybe 30 in Age of Mythology. And it doesn't show all of the tournaments because they're old, and there's not all of them were like you can't find links from all
hmm.
of them because they were old.
Understand,
But
understand.
obviously, this last year has been the best because I think Age of Empires 4 is a game that fits my style and my mindset. Now, unfortunately, I don't have the time to to play fully, to commit fully into the game. But I think I have enough time so that I can use my talent into work.
Well, I don't know if you commit full time to the game, but for what I've seen, you are a very good player, Themista. A very good player. Let me. I was watching a game from you the other day. I don't know if you remember. I'm sure many people have talked to you about it. It was on the N4C tournament. You know the game, right? You were playing.
Yeah,
You were playing. I'm talking specifically about this game, right? You were
yeah,
playing against the Muslim. You were on English and he was an opposite. He was sitting on 200 pop. You had barely 60 bills and like 80 pop, but 10 trebuchets. That was all you had, and
yeah.
you managed to pull out the win there, sniping the landmarks. What a
Yeah,
game, man!
that was a crazy game, and I think like the camera just shows the tension that I was like half the game. Like actually, no, 95% of that game, I was thinking I was losing, and 5% I was thinking that I might have a shot, and I was like, I'm gonna try, I'm gonna try, and I was getting closer to the landmarks, closer to the landmarks, and then I'm like, am I really doing it? And like that tension, that stress, it just came out at the end. I couldn't even breathe at the end. I was like, what the fuck? How did this happen? Like, how did I win this?
I couldn't believe it when I saw those last shots coming out from the trebuchets because he was actually killing your trebs. He was killing them, and there were like only 3 or 4 left. And those last 2 3 shots got the landmark, and you got the win, man. I couldn't believe it. What a wonderful game. Let me ask you a question. As far as the game is concerned, Age of Empires 4 as a game, we've seen many changes coming in, bug fixes, new content, free to play. No, these 2 new civs coming out in the next patch, and big tournaments like the Wololo tournament, of which we will speak later. Uh, what do you think the game? What do you think the future of Age of Empires 4 looks like?
I'm optimistic. I think Microsoft and Relic, they are supporting the game, and then they're taking the right calls. They're listening to the community and they're listening to their players. And as long as they're doing that, I see no reason for them to fail or the game to fail.
So you feel the game is going to be growing in the coming months, and that it will attract more players and new players.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
So that's good news for us.
Yes, definitely
Nice.
is. We have winter in front of us. I have plenty of time to play. It would be a sad day for the game to die when I have time to play.
Good to know. Um, how would you describe yourself as a player? Are you
Uh,
do you consider yourself like an aggressive player, an early game aggressive player, or more like a reactive passive player?
I I would consider myself that I I don't watch other people play apart from
Mhm.
finding their weaknesses. So I will not, for example, start watching replays of, let's say, Beastie or Marine Lord or the Muslim to find out a way to play something. I usually will watch in order to observe habits, some things that they might have a weakness in order to use that. And then I most of the times try to create a meta around the players that I'm playing against. And obviously, I just play my own thing. Most of the times, I play my own thing. What I think is best.
Hmm. So you don't consider yourself a meta player.
No, 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 no. I don't like a lot of the things that I do might end up being meta, but it, a lot of a lot of people must understand that the things that I do are targeted towards players.
Hmm.
I'm better at playing good players rather than playing average players, for example. I do better if I play the top players rather than playing just a random player on the ladder
Hmm. So
because
you
I study. I try to study. I just memorize what people do.
so you spend a lot of time in Beastie's stream.
In general, like for example, when I'm driving the tractor or when I'm coming home back home, being tired from work and I can't play because I literally cannot play.
Hmm.
Like I just want to sleep, but I don't want to sleep. I just want to stay in touch with the game. So I will end up watching streams, and I try to use that time as efficiently as possible. Like if you can't play the game, I'm watching at least I'm gonna put 2 hours watching the game, and I
That
will think a lot about the game. Like like when I have to practice and I can't, when I want to play and I can't, I think a lot about the game, like a lot.
yeah, you go to sleep thinking about Age of Empires and you wake up thinking
Sometimes yes,
about Age of
sometimes
Empires. Yeah,
sometimes yes.
I think that happens to a lot of us, even though we're not at your level. But yeah, I think you're a very smart guy. the time that you can spend playing the game, you spend it analyzing your opponents. I think you're gonna do very well in the Wololo tournament, man.
I hope so. I hope so.
Now, where do you think? We know that we're in this like booming meta where everyone likes to get 2, 3 TCs, 150 bills. Where do you think, with the new changes that are coming in the next patch, where do you think the meta is gonna turn in? Like, how's it
Uh,
gonna change?
it's a different. The thing is, a lot of people are testing things right now,
Mm-hmm.
and because we cannot play with everyone, and we can only play like there's a different meta in the ladder, and there is a different meta when you're playing when you know that you're gonna play a best of 3 or something.
Mm-hmm.
You do different things. You choose different sieves. In ladder, you choose more variety of sieves. In general, I think it's gonna have to do with people's playstyle. Right now, people are like exploring those new changes. I don't think there is a standard answer until we actually see the outcome of all that practice, because now everybody is testing things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have my own ideas, obviously, of how it will develop, but we will know for sure in the first rounds of Wololo. Until then, I cannot give you a definite answer because I've only started practicing, let's say, 2 weeks ago, and from those 2 weeks, I have been harvesting cotton 5 days of those 2 weeks. So I have like 10 days of practice.
more
So I
than
can't give a definite answer.
more than enough. More than enough. So, and what can you tell me about not the new server, not this pub server, but the one that we're currently playing, the rest of the players. What sieves do you feel are the stronger ones, and which ones are the weakest ones, and how will that change when the new patch arrives?
So now the thing is that I haven't really played the other server at all since June.
Yeah.
I've started playing again when we got the beta for PUB.
Mm-hmm.
And like 90% of my games, well, not 90, like 75% of my games were in the last 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't even know what's the meta in the other one. I assume it's just from the games that I've been watching, because as soon as I learned that we will be playing in another patch, or like there was a chance of us playing in another patch, I stopped watching because I didn't want to ruin my perception of the game.
I see.
And but I would say it's just a booming meta. It's like we get a second TC, get a third TC, make a lot of units, and pressure your opponent. I think that should change.
Mm-hmm.
That should change in the future. I hope it will.
Maybe we will have a second to see a bit delayed, having to fight a little bit before that. Maybe.
Yeah, like I think it's gonna be more into, if I make a few units, I'll be able to deny your town center on Deers or on Boar. And if I do that, you're gonna make a town center. Let's say you're trying to get a town center extra, a fast town center out. You're gonna make it inside of your base, but I'll make mine slightly later. But mine will be out in the map, and you won't be able to punish it.
Mm-hmm. So we will have more early action.
I think so. Yes,
And you like that?
yes, I like it because when there is room for pressure, there is also room for mistakes.
Yeah,
And like all of us, if we're left alone, it's gonna be really easy to just do our own thing and just do not make mistakes. But when the pressure starts, that's when you understand when someone is playing good or not.
exactly. Exactly. TheMISTA, you, as we all know, you're a top player. If you had to, because I get this question asked a lot, can you please ask TheMISTA? Can you please? If you had to give any tips to new players or less experienced players, what would those tips be to improve? Obviously.
Don't make units that are meant to do nothing. Do not waste units. Keep making your villagers. As just non-stop making villagers. And in general, one of the most common mistakes that people do is they either make units that they do not use. Therefore, they are not attacking, they're not booming, they're not taking upgrades. They just have units that they're doing nothing, or they make units and they're like wasting their units for absolutely no reason. Like they're taking fights that they have nothing to gain from those fights, and they end up losing units, and then they're behind. In general, just make sure you make you make units that you're gonna use. Because let's say I make 5 knights, right? I scouted my opponent making a safe town center, and he made walls.
Hmm.
So you have 5 knights. What are you going to do with those 5 knights? You can't do anything. So
So,
why would you make those 4 extra knights? You could have just made it an extra town center. These types of things. It's like it's logical things. It's not
mhm,
something that it's things that if you take a moment, a step back, and you think about the logical progression of the game and when to make units and how to use units, you will come to these conclusions.
mhm. Okay, thank you. Thank you for that answer. I forgot to ask you before. You started your esports career in StarCraft 2. We all know that StarCraft 2, was it? Or did you play any other game before that?
I played. I was competitive in Age of Mythology before that, and at the same time, I was in Age of Empires Online. But let's say that I started earning good cash in StarCraft 2. That was the first game that was giving me a good cash flow.
Hmm. I was going to ask you this because StarCraft 2 is much more of a micro game. You have to micro your units much more than Age of Empires 4. And I wanted to ask you, what was, although you've come across other RTS like Age of Mythology, that's more like Age of Empires 4. But I want to ask you, what was the transition, right, from a very like heavily micro game onto a more macro game oriented?
Uh, the transition was it. I was young. It was easy to learn. It was a lot easier to learn. Now I'm using my time a lot smarter.
Hmm.
I started playing StarCraft 2 when I was 2010. I was 18 towards 19. I was really young.
Hmm.
I had more time as well, although not that as much as I'm just taking myself back then, and I did realize that I didn't have as much time as I thought I had. Just time passed a lot slower than it passes now,
Yeah,
because now I do this and 1 year passes.
time
Uh,
flies. Time flies,
yeah,
man.
time flies. I didn't feel weird. It just felt natural. It's just the same logic. I gather resources, I make units, and I'm just trying to use those units in order to gain an advantage.
Okay.
I just follow the same logic in everything that I do in general, in all of my life decisions. It's the
Mhm.
same logic.
Okay. Okay. Uh, let's talk about the Wololo tournament, man. Congratulations for qualifying. You are gonna be facing the best players in the world in only a few weeks from now. What do you feel when you received the news that you were qualified?
I was super excited because I didn't even think I would qualify at that point.
Come on,
I
how
mean,
not?
it was June, right? And I was in the middle of my farming season, so I couldn't play the game. And I stopped playing the game in March. Now it's March, then you have April, then you have May, and then you have June. I was 3 months inactive, didn't play
Mm-hmm.
any games. And then it started raining in my area, a lot of rain. So I had like 2 weeks that I could just play the game. And I started playing the game. And when I qualified, I was relieved, extremely happy, and it took me like maybe 3 months to realize that actually qualified. Like I just couldn't. Every day I couldn't believe that I was able to qualify.
And so we have the tournament coming up in a few weeks. What are you doing to prepare yourself for the tournament? What kind of practice are you carrying on?
So far I'm just testing things, I'm just doing things, just trying to make myself comfortable with the game, comfortable with the mechanics again. It's more of I'm trying to approach that comfort zone where you're feeling both comfortable and at the same time that you have like this self-esteem, like yourself. You're like, I can do it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to build that those feelings, and I'm just playing the game
You're playing like
right
ranked
now.
games or practicing
No,
against
no, no,
other
no.
players?
I'm just playing practicing games. I'm trying to play as many games as I can. It's usually 4 to 5 games per day. But starting from tomorrow, it should be doubled easily. It should be like from 5 to 10 games per day easily.
Are you practicing against other pro players?
Yes, I am.
Okay, from the other side of the bracket or
Uh, both sides.
both sides? So
Yes.
you don't want to show your strategies. You don't want to show what you're going to be doing in the tournament, right? How do you
Uh,
manage that?
remember what I told you? I'm practicing comfort zone. I'm not practicing actual builds. I'm just playing
Okay,
the game.
so we're gonna have some what's the word? Some imaginative, if that's a word, strategies coming out
Uh,
from you.
I don't know, like, because the thing is, if I want to make something crazy, right? There must be an established meta in order to do it. Because
Mm-hmm.
when you don't have an established meta, everything is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, some things that look natural to me might look crazy to the viewers, but for me, it's not crazy. Like, even if you just like take a lot, just tell it. If you start telling me games that I played in the past that you think crazy, most of them I won't think that they're crazy. Like the logic is there. It's just like it looks crazy, but it's actually not that crazy.
Man, I can't wait to watch your games. Let me ask you another question. Which four players? Try to give us four names of four players that you feel might make it to the final stages of the tournament.
Final eight or final four?
Final four.
Final four. I will exclude me for obvious reasons. So let's say I'm not playing in this. I would say now the thing is that only there's gonna be four people from the left, four people from the right. So it should be from the left. I think it's gonna be Marine Lord, the Muslim,
Mm-hmm.
Wam, and then I'm not sure about how Magic is going to perform. If Magic performs I think as I think he should, then I think it's gonna be him. If not, then it's gonna be a fight between Linux and sort of.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
from the right side, I think Beastie Cutie. Uh, and that's a tough one because I haven't played with Vortex and Lucifer for quite some time, but I really, really think that they're insane if they practice.
Mm-hmm.
Now, so Beastie QT, Papi Paw, and possibly the brothers, Vortex and Lucifron. But then you also have like Recon as a wild card and Kazva as a super wild card. Like Kazva sometimes plays so good.
Did you
Sometimes I'm just amazed of how good he's playing.
you heard the news that he at first he couldn't be he was not going to be playing the tournament, but in the end
Yeah,
they
yeah,
managed to fix his
yeah.
situation.
I'm practicing with Calva, so I was probably the first person who knew about this.
I like his play style. He's a very
Yeah,
off meta player.
yeah. The thing is, he's not off meta. For example, me, I understand Kazva. Like I understand the logic that he follows behind his
Mm-hmm.
moves, but sometimes I don't understand the execution because okay, you're having a brilliant plan that logically it should work, but what are you doing? Why this or why that? Like the strategy, his strategy is logic. It's not wild. His tactics sometimes are like off.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if he works on that, he's gonna just like improve one step higher.
Do you when you start a game, do you have a strategy, a plan in your mind before starting the game, or you build it up as you progress in the game?
I think if you have a strategy, you save up so much time thinking and it makes everything less stressful. Now, obviously, you want a strategy, which is basically a general plan,
Mm-hmm.
but the more you information you get from your opponent, the more you adapt that plan towards what he's doing.
So you would
And
always.
obviously you need to understand that it's not only that you're playing against, let's say I'm playing Mongols against Chinese, right? You're not playing against Chinese only. You're also playing the map, his spawn, your spawn, and you're playing the player as well. Each player has different habits. Like if you give China to all 16 participants, half of them will play totally different China. yes, half of them will just follow the meta. They will do exactly the same thing, but the other half they're gonna do their own thing. So you need to also understand the player in
Mhm.
order to play the game.
Okay, okay. Well, the Mista, the interview is coming to an end. Is there anything you would like to add? Anything, any message you would like to send to your fan base?
Yeah, the community is amazing.
It
In
is.
general, it's I think it's one of the best communities I've ever been in an esport game, and I just appreciate it. And it makes me want to play. Even there are times where I don't want to play, or I might not like the game as much, but I'm like, this community is so awesome. I want to be a part of it, right?
Mhm.
And yeah, that's pretty much it. It's the community is just like
By the way,
uh,
I totally agree with you. That was the first thing that I became aware of when I started playing Age of Empires. The community is amazing, and everyone helps each other. And I think it's also because we are a bit older community than other games, right? It's not like we have a lot of 16-year-olds or 14-year-olds. Like usually the people you see around Age of Empires 4 is a bit older, 25, 30. And I think that helps. I think that helps. I was
yeah,
gonna
I agree on that.
I was gonna ask you a question. What have you ever thought about making a career out of streaming on Twitch, for instance? Like,
Uh, yes, plenty of times, but I prefer farming. It's I'm a peaceful dude. I'm too simple to stream. Like I get stressed. I get like pressure that I want. I'm like, let's say for example, you said that I'm a good player and I'm an amazing player, right? But like that is pressure for me. I just want to play my game, right? Like and perform. But the thing is that when you feel that pressure, it's just like every day you want to play. And I see that from other streamers. Like PSTQT is one of the best examples. He gets tilted when he loses because he knows that everyone is watching, right?
that's true.
And the thing is that that thing also affects me in a way that like people think that I'm really 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 good, all right? Yeah, I'm good in this game, but I'm not that of an amazing. Like I'm not that amazing. I'm just playing the game, and playing while people watching you, it's really stressful. And you're talking to a guy who just goes on his tractor and he's just like farming alone for 10 hours a day, right?
M-
Just like thinking, doing his own thing.
Man, if that's what makes you happy, that's it. Why discussing? Right? Just keep going with your farming and play whenever you like, and that's it.
Yeah,
I just
yeah,
wondered because I was thinking the other day, man, this guy could be having hundreds of viewers on Twitch. Like, I've seen games from you that, dude, if this guy streams, man, he's gonna have a lot of followers and viewers. But I totally accept and respect that you prefer other things in life, and I also understand your point. Sometimes when you're playing and you have those people watching you, right? You want to give them some good content, and that means winning games. And if you lose games, then you get stressed and you get tilted, and that's not the kind of streamer you want to be.
yeah, exactly. Like my plan is to stream at some point, right, in winter, because in winter I won't have any work, so I can
Hmm.
afford to put a lot of time into gaming. And my plan is to stream. Now, how much I'm going to stream and if I have a tight schedule on streaming, I cannot tell. It's all about the mood. It's how I wake up and how I feel when I sit on my computer.
There are many pro players that just stream whenever they feel like it. It's not like they have a schedule in which I have to be streaming on Mondays and Tuesdays from this time to this time. It's just like whenever I feel like I stream, and that's it. And if I get tilted, I just stop the stream and go walk around. Man, I'll be happy to watch your stream if you ever if you ever happen to actually start one. I will be there. I will be there. Okay, TheMISTA, thank you very much for your time here with us. Let me wish you all the luck in the world for that Wololo tournament. I'm sure that you're going to perform very well. And if you like, I will be more than happy to have you back here after the tournament.
It would be my pleasure to be
Okay.
here again. I really enjoyed this.
Oh, I'm happy. I'm happy that you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot, man. You're a good guy, man. You're a good and a fun guy too.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, TheMISTA, thank you very much again. And for the rest of you guys here today with us, I hope you guys enjoyed the interview. Um, we will be having more in the future, so stay tuned. I'm gonna post the timetable for the next interviews, and I'll see you guys another day. Thank you very much, TheMISTA. Thank you guys. Bye bye.
Bye.